Welcome to our 118th episode of Guerrilla Radio. We have Mike back. He is live and ready to talk some wrestling. First off, obviously, I'm sure people want to know, give you a quick update on you and the family. Everyone's back home and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, it's good to have everyone home. My oldest daughter, Oceana, was released, or discharged, not released, discharged like Wednesday. So we came home that Thursday. She was in for a week, but she'll make a full recovery, which is the best thing. My daughter, Noemi, was discharged like Black Friday, which was hectic because we had to get a hotel during Michigan-Ohio State rivalry game week, which was incredibly hard. But everyone seems like they're gonna make a full recovery. It's gonna be a little bit more time for Oceana. She had more significant injuries. Noemi had like a broken collarbone and a fractured sternum. So, just everyone with the messages, and we had some parents from our softball team. They set up like a meal train, which was great. It's not something you ever think about. And Kim's sister had set up a GoFundMe. People were like very generous and reached out. Like the messages and everything was overwhelming. Like everyone was amazing. We have such a great community. I'm like a big part of the softball community, which is just as tight knit as the wrestling community. So, and then obviously friends and family. It was really cool to get all the messages. And if I didn't respond to someone's message, I really apologize. I tried to respond to everybody, but obviously it was a hectic week. It was really scary. I'm just happy, like more than anything, I'm happy to be here and be able to talk wrestling still. And we were in the hospital, and I think I sent Joe a message like, hey, I think these semi-state rankings are ready. Like I would tell you, like the first 3 days I probably didn't sleep and just messing around on my phone. Like there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be back here and doing what we love to do, obviously.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's definitely a scary time. And we were talking beforehand, it's one of those things that you don't wish upon anybody, but glad that everyone's safe and you can start getting back a little bit to normal every day. I know that's the biggest thing, getting girls back in school and unfortunately, going back to work, I guess, is one of those things that you guys will be doing semi soon, I think. So.
Yeah, Noemi was able to go back to school today, which is good. I think she, obviously, broken collarbone, a heel, and fractured sternum, but she was ready to go. She was ready to get out of the house. Like I was getting stir crazy. But it's like the little things that I was telling you off the air. Like driving again was really difficult. Like it was something that like I think you always think that like everything's gonna be like, oh man, I'll just go out and do it, whatever, I don't care. Like I'm tough, and it was really, really hard. Like it was literally nothing I could have done to avoid contact. A guy hit us dead head on, drunk driver, entering what would have been an exit for us, like an off ramp. So he didn't like cross the median. I didn't see it till like the last second. Like a car swerved and he like hit us straight on. So Kia Telluride, man, awesome car. Kia did an amazing job. I've had it since June maybe. Traded my F-150. I love my F-150, so I'm not being disrespectful to that. But it was like my first old man car where I like looked up like the safety ratings and stuff, and it held up, man. Like the cab was good. Like the seatbelt, I think caused the majority of the injuries. But I think we're really lucky that we wore the seatbelts because we had stuff in the back that like hit the windshield.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, that's good, and they did arrest the guy and everything, so that's
he
took better news that he's gonna hopefully throw the book at him. I mean, that's
obviously that was like the last thing I was thinking about. I think as that was going on, it like built more and more. I think I always thought like, oh man, like I would do all this other stuff, and like I was like. And then in that moment, I think you just think about your family, and that guy, like, kind of didn't like really run. He like hopped the median and just kind of walked off. They found him like a mile away. But yeah, and like I said, like I appreciate like it was so it was so crazy. Just a ton of message in it, like people that are like currently in the sport or people over the years, and it's always amazing. And I know, like I tell Joe every year when we go out to state, like how many people watch the show or visit the website or all of that stuff, and just the messages from parents that's kids who graduated 10 years ago. We've been doing this for a while, and that they reached out just to make sure we're okay, ask if we needed anything. Was amazing. Like I said, like Kim's sister started a GoFundMe, and I think, like I don't know how. I think everything's gonna be covered through insurance. Hopefully, his insurance probably even better. Like $5,000 filled in like 2 days, and I don't know if I even shared it. Like I felt terrible because I know this sounds stupid, but like I told Joe, I didn't want to send it out on like Thanksgiving. It was like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It was like during the day. Like you think about how many people, like, I mean, like obviously you work, I work. Like we're on the road at 4:00 all the time. It was like 4:00 in the afternoon. It wasn't like at night. It wasn't like someone leaving a restaurant. Like, hey, I was just gonna go have a couple beers, and it was like in the afternoon when a lot of people are on the road. It's crazy. Yeah. But like also to that, like we're super lucky and blessed to be able to continue to do the show, to be alive, that we're going to make a full recovery. Like injuries are going to heal. They're going to make full recoveries. They're young. I'll get another car. Like I'm not like sweating that, but like the little things of like, our softball team played like a showcase when we were going, and just to be able to like sit back and watch the game on the TV at the hospital was, an hour and a half. That was great because it kind of took us out of the moment of what we were in. Mm-hmm. Like watching some of the results over the weekend was great. Like I could, that first opening weekend, and just losing yourself is kind of like what it is. And I think that's huge in these situations, to like be able to like occupy your mind with something other than the tragedy that's going on in your life. You want to say like, hey, I'm going to be 1,000% focused on my kid right here in front of me, but I'm not a surgeon. I'm not in the medical field. There's literally nothing I could have done other than be support. And I think that's like the hardest part, is like, no matter like what you do or who you are, like how much like there's nothing you can do in those situations. You're just kind of helpless to what's happening. And we lucked out because we were 30 minutes from Ann Arbor, and I don't know, like Michigan has one of the best medical facilities in the United States, and for pediatrics, and they were amazing. Everyone there was amazing. The nurses, all the surgeons, the people, like the housekeeping people, everybody was just great. Like I couldn't have asked for a better place to be.
They were probably in a better mood Saturday afternoon also, after they beat Ohio State.
What's crazy? So we were like, at that point, Noemi had just got discharged, and I was like walking back and forth because she was on one side of the floor, but I had to like go downstairs, and like I'm constantly going. Like my mind like constantly has to be moving forward. It sucks, but like that's how I cope, I guess. And as I'm like walking the floor, and like you see like everyone like in some of their worst moments, and as a parent, and you're a parent, and a lot of the people that watch the show are parents, hopefully, or kids, like like how much you would do for your own kids. And I'm watching this, you're going there and you're seeing everyone like recovering, but they're like hurt, or there's babies there, and every parent except for us was watching the Ohio State Michigan game on their TV, and our nurses came and was like, "You guys don't like football?" And I was just thinking like my kid's in here, like I want her to be able to watch whatever she wants, but like, I would tell you that like we were there, so that we got there, we were in Ann Arbor on Thursday. We got there Wednesday night, Thursday we left, so we were there for a week. That whole night, like they were like partying in the streets. Like at 1 a.m., I'm like looking out our like window at the hospital. We were on the 12th floor, and I just see like people running up and down the street. I'm like, good for them, man.
Yes. So no, that's good. But
yeah.
So yep, everyone's glad you're back and everything. So big weekend of wrestling. So hopefully I know you're able to catch some of it here and there and kind of Obviously, it's nice that you have something that can get your mind off things, and whether it's 15 minutes here, an hour here, whatever there, it's one of those things. So seems like we have the crazy wrestling moms in the chat today, including
Yeah,
Jose Diaz. Oh wait, is he a mom or no? So I know, like you said, this is kind of the big weekend, and it's like, holy cow, season's here. It kind of creeps on. We didn't have very many Thanksgiving things this year, and I think that's kind of slowed down because of COVID, and people are still a little bit nervous. But I kind of like this past weekend as being that big weekend. We were at Westfield. They had the Harvest Classic. Brownsburg, Franklin Central. I want to say Roncalli went to Ohio. Cathedral had a big event. So lots of great stuff to talk about. Harvest Classic was a meat grinder. Portage coming out. Kinda that pretty surprising. I don't even want to say kinda. I'll say it is real surprising that
yeah, I thought and they had wrestled Crown Point. Obviously, Crown Point's a load. Like, they're gonna be tough for anyone to handle.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty top to bottom, really good. And I thought they wrestled them pretty well. Like just even some of the results, and I know they're really good to close out. I thought Acuna, I know that he has like a real passion. They said your mic's not as loud as typical.
I just turned it up a little bit. Hopefully I'm louder now, and I moved my mic closer to my mouth.
I think I really do have faith that Acuna was going to get the program going in the right direction. I think this is a huge step. Not that I thought that Bradbury did a good job or a bad job, but I know that just talking with Acuna last year when we were doing some of the broadcasts together, he went straight from the booth to the chair. So he did some of those events, with us. He did state and stuff. And then just talking with him, I know he's really excited. And I know he's excited about the future of the program. So they came out and they wrestled well. And we, it's just one of those things in the region. We knew that like Portage one was always like in good shape. Like if you're going to go out there, you're going to get a Portage kid for, 6 minutes. And that they were just always tough, man. And I think that was like his big thing. He really wanted to like push, be in his shape, and just that Portage style again. And it looked like they did a really good job. Yeah, CP is on another level.
Yes, yeah, that's that's pretty good. You have a good Hobart team. I think they had Penn was third. They were missing a couple guys. They're doing the typical Brad Harper strategy of they're going to hold some guys out.
So, yeah, I think and it's tough early on. I know like Cathedral would always say like that they're always playing football for like the most part into the last week of the season, right? They're always right there in the mix. So they always say like the Tri-Coff's always like when you see the first time you see like the Cathedral team. There were some matchups that I was really surprised, like some results early on where you're like, okay, that kid's gonna be really good, and then some interesting results across the board. I thought they're even starting Wednesday. I think Stefan Vitella lost. Like that was one of the ones I seen in the Maryville and Valparaiso duel at 138. So I thought like starting off, I was like, oh wow, just not that like that's like a huge upset, but it was just one of those things that you're like, huh, okay. Like that's a good way to start the week. Exciting duel, and then you come back and you get the Harvest Class. You get Westfield. Westfield's obviously you don't get to see like every team go against each other, but you get to see a lot of really good matches.
Yeah, that was we were talking about Carmel ends up winning Westfield. They came down the last match against Hamilton Southeastern. Came down to the last match against Zionsville, and then Zionsville second. Westfield, when they kind of blew out Hamilton Southeastern at the end, by 20 points, which considering the other two matches were pretty close. Zionsville and Westfield was one tiebreaker match, so real good. Just top to bottom, you're looking at some of the scores, and it's about matchups, which I think they've Coach Smith over there has been good about getting some of the weaker teams out of there. and making it even tougher and tougher every year. And pretty much everyone had pretty full lineups. I know it's early in the season. I know we had just finally had our first full lineup because we had kids that couldn't get down to weight in time. So that kind of fun stuff still happening a week or two. And you have Westfield and Zionsville. I think we're both pretty late in the playoffs. We were a regional in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mount Vernon, Fortville was late in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think Lawrence North played like regional level too. So, and unfortunately, we did not get the Battle of Mount Vernon because Fortville and Posey were there. That should have been like a first round match.
I think Joey Butler had a really good day there, right?
Yeah,
You had the notable results page going again. That's like one of my favorite posts.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we had a lot of good matches this week. A lot of, I mean, it seems like we had a lot of seniors last year, and we're starting to get some new faces in the rankings. And everyone says, they're like, oh, Newcastle's down. I think we just had a lot of seniors last year that graduated that seemed to be around for about 4 or 5 years, about 5 or 6 years. That was that kind of group of kids. So now we're getting back into it, and like, oh man, there's some up and comers coming in that kind of were drowned out by those older guys coming through. So
yeah, I think we're trying to give those guys some time to shine. I know, like, just talking with Ed and his Carmel team. I know they had some guys that got transfer out. They've had some guys, graduate over the years, and they always put out good product top to bottom out there. And he just replaces them with new guys every year that are just guys that you see like in the ISWA results a lot, and you're like, okay, like where's that kid at? It's like, oh, well, he's a backup at Carmel, and they're gonna get a chance when they're juniors and seniors and just be solid.
Yeah. There's some. I mean, they're gonna be pretty tough. I know they're gonna be. They're in the mix. I know it's something that Cameron and I were talking about. They're gonna be in the mix for that last spot at Team State, and I mean, they were pretty close to, you lose here, which is these are all good wins, solid wins, and those are going to help them maybe secure that last spot. Obviously, Hamilton Southeastern was right there, Zionsville was right there, and Westfield. So, and I believe Carmel wrestle Westfield, I think, this week. Someone wrestles. Oh, no, Hamilton Southeastern and Zionsville wrestle this week. Carmel has... Where's that? They're at Perry. They have Columbus East and Perry, so they're gonna.
That'd be a good day.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to basically secure, if doing well these 2 weeks. They'll be able to. I don't want to say putting on cruise control, but they'll be a pretty heavy favorite to get that last spot there.
Well, we talked, and winning the Shamrock Duels is a huge thing for them.
Yeah,
it's
5 good matches. I mean, they started off with a good Noblesville team. Then they wrestled, I believe, Norwell, and Southport has some good kids there that are tough to. I mean, not no easy matches. Southport's a program that's going to be pretty tough pretty soon here, and that those are. I mean, Noblesville ended up pretty good. Norwell finished 6th, so pretty good teams there.
Yeah, I think. And we talked about it early on. Maybe one of the first shows. I don't know, one of the first shows we did. But when you have you want to get those events and to get that like last vote in, you're gonna have to go wrestle like tough things to put on your resume. And I think that's huge. Like it doesn't matter. And I know like it goes back to like seeding and stuff. All that this team's 15-0, but they haven't wrestled anyone. That's great, but like you got a team that's like Carmel who is out winning Shamrock Duels, and they'll wrestle Perry this week, and they'll wrestle, I forgot who else you said was there, but
Columbus East was there.
Columbus East, who's always really good.
Yeah,
like those are good things to put on your resume, and I think that goes a long way. It's not a matter of, like, well, we're undefeated, and all we done is wrestle the same, 4 or 5 teams, and if you're going out and find the best competition, and I mean, that's going to be, we talked about it with some of the teams going out of state, like, Brownsburg going out to, Ohio and wrestling some tough matches and just getting a different look,
Yeah. And that's one thing. I mean, we went to Indy last week, and we're going over to Tom Cameron this week, and we'll be at the Al Smith, and we have a luxury. We're not in a conference, so we're not bound by we don't have to wrestle anyone we don't want to. I mean, if we don't want to wrestle a certain team, we can. I mean, we can make our schedules as easy as we want or as tough as we want. But especially with now, I mean, I'm going to assume the coach association is going to keep this open spot and do that last one. I mean, it's a benefit for us to be, if we're not getting in that last spot, to go to these events and hey, let's prove it. I know there's a couple years where I think we were a little bit better team, and we probably could have, if they had that spot, we might have been able to sneak in last minute because we had a good schedule and we had some good wins, but we were left out because the voting closed in April. So I like that, and if you're able to do it, hopefully you can.
Well, I think it's tough. I mean, with transfers and incoming freshmen, I don't think people weigh that a lot. And like sometimes it's just rumors, but it's easy when you're seeing it out there to see like, hey, this team belongs there with these guys. Whether it's the 1 year Cathedral wasn't in, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna go and wrestle that, like they can get in because they graduated a bunch, but they're a team like we talked about with Carmel that just they're stacked with backups. Or Mater Dei, they graduate a bunch of guys. They always have a ton of stacked backups. Or Parameridian for years, same way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that having that open spot's huge, and I thought last year getting Floyd Central in there was the right move. I know it probably wasn't a popular move in some areas. Some people were probably like, "You're jumping," and I get it, man. Like obviously, they felt like, "Hey, we should be the next team in," but they went in and they competed well, and I'm sure like they'll do a good job of voting the right teams in.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be, and I think some of the smaller schools, I know Dane's talked about it, that South Adams kind of up their schedule a bit early on to kind of maybe sneak into that last spot, and they already beat one team that's in it, so that's huge to be, especially the smaller schools even too, that losing seniors is huge for them. But if you bring in the right guys and maybe get a transfer, maybe have some good freshmen that are coming up that might not be middle school state level, high level middle school state placers, but good solid kids in the right weight classes, it can be huge. And so I think that's good for the sport, and I think it adds a little bit of intrigue to a lot of these results that we're getting in here now, because we're like, oh, I mean, I think Avon's not in it, and Avon has a big event this weekend. They're going to wrestle Bloomington South and Mater Dei and Castle, and they could maybe make a statement. They didn't have a good weekend this past weekend, but
and I think they're a team, and it's a good example. I mean, I don't know how their whole lineup fills out, but you add a kid like Bo, and you add a kid like Cesara, and the other two guys that could medal, they should medal for you guys.
Yeah.
That no one was projecting to be in their lineup at that point.
Yep.
On top of, you're going to have guys like Cheney Chef, who's also a medalist, and Rio, who's good, who's real tough.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. So Brownsburg dominated at the in Ohio, which is I looked at a little bit of their results and seen kind of where they had their guys, because they did have the weird weight classes. This soon to be, not quite soon, but it will be our weight classes at some point here. So it'll be interesting to see how those pan out according to what people are saying. I have not heard it from Balkans, but it sounds like we're going to wait till 2023 to go to those weight classes. So I mean, I'm not particular anyway. It's going to be interesting next couple years, because I believe Ohio and Kentucky both are at those weight classes, have those weights. So,
and they had some guys out there. I mean, I don't know their like final lineup, but just from what we're hearing, like they had some guys out of the lineup also.
Yeah.
Still dominated.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where they come out. The Cathedral Super 6 had some good matches. You had Ryle, Kentucky, Avon, Daleville, Greenfield Central, Warren Central. Warren Central beat Avon. Cheney Chef did not weigh in, from what I gathered. Carol Lavelle over Syra. We need an official pronunciation. 4-1. So I mean, obviously that's a close match early on for tough freshman. Landon Bowe over Tyler Jones. there, 3-1.
Yeah. Well, they said Tyler Jones lost two that day, right?
Yeah,
He
he
lost.
lost to the Greenfield Central kid,
Greenfield. Yeah.
Garen. And then I mean Daleville was there. They had some good kids. I saw a couple wins that they had. Jackson Ingenito, man, over Brylan Smith, who I know has been in the rankings a little bit. Let's see. And then Cathedral beat Warren Central 40-30. And I'm just pulling that. Or no, there's Avon Warren Central. Where's that one? It's nice to be able to just click on these. So you had Lavelle over Aiden Reyes, Josh Johnson, Zeke. Yeah. Tyler Jones over Gavin Bragg, JJ Braun over Anthony Cashman. I know Cashman's pretty tough. So not really any big upsets there. And then Cathedral and Ryle, Kentucky. Ryle has some couple. Noah Duke was a IPO champ, and they have Cole Thomas, who was runner up to Zeke at IPO. They had some pretty solid kids, and it's 45-22, pretty good match. It looks like. I'm not exactly sure who their better guys are, but it looked like there's some good matches there. Josh Johnson had a 5-4 overtime match. Aiden Reyes had a tiebreaker match, 11-10. Jeez. So a lot of good matches.
Some points
there.
put up.
Yeah. A lot of points to go into overtime. So, but yeah, that was a good solid start for Cathedral. I think they got a little bit earlier start than they usually have. Let's see, maybe it was the Cathedral, and I saw some. Yeah, where is Kinnick? Okay, trying to figure out where they. Yeah, and then that Jackson Ingenito had another. Grayson Harvey was pretty solid, I think. But yeah, Daleville obviously went there for some good competition and definitely got it. So.
Yeah, that'll be interesting next week. You start getting some, like, for us, like I always thought that, we talked about the Harvest Classic, but the Tri-Coff would be tough, and you can have possible Cathedral, and they do it like in pools. I'm sure Coach Watkins will have the pools coming up. Thank you, Coach. I was just talking about Coach Watkins.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm sure he'll have the pools set coming up, and then where you might. It ends up going into like the way the bracket, then you can have like that round robin where you could probably have, Cathedral and Crown Point, possibly Franklin and all those guys there, which is always a good event. And those guys do a good job of, you get some good officials in there, and that'd be an exciting day of wrestling. You get to see a lot of good matches.
Yeah, we might as well just talk about that a little bit. It's going to be, this is going to be one of the better ones in recent memory. I know a couple years ago, some of the teams just weren't, we're down a little bit. Is Floyd Central not there? Floyd is not there.
No. The first time I
No, there. Floyd's going to Zionsville. Okay. So they've been up there. So, Watkins is releasing them in the morning, so we'll have a lot to talk about. You got Crown Point. Sorry, New Prairie, Cathedral, Franklin, Mishawaka, and then you have Westfield. Those are all the ranked teams that are ranked that are there. And then you have teams like, let's see if I can sort this better. Yeah, Mount Vernon, Fortville, who's pretty solid. They just had they placed 5th at Westfield this past weekend, so there'll be a tough out there. Yeah, Hanover Central Portage just won the Harvest.
River Forest wrestled real well at the Harvest also. I seen Jeffrey Bailey posted that Paisley beat Kendall there.
Yeah, and River Forest has a solid team. For a smaller school, so they're not going to be an easy out. They have some good solid kids. So that should be a very, Southmont always brings some good kids. Valpo has some good guys. So it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be one of the deeper fields in recent memory. Man, I'm going to have to talk to Sisson. Why Sisson not like the region anymore? What?
I mean, they've been up there for. I know Floyd was going there since we were in school. It might just be something different. It's far.
Yeah.
It's a far drive.
Yeah, that's directly diagonal across the state.
Oh yeah,
That's from
they might
Cincinnati
be.
basically to
I'm
to
sure they're the
Duluth.
furthest, right?
Yeah.
That has to be the furthest drive for anyone.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
those guys have done a good job, and it's good to see. I know Coach Tante have Franklin ready. Cathedral Crown Point. That'll be a good one for Crown Point. I seen that Hector had posted that they're going to flip Cruz and Willems. That'll be interesting. So I think a lot of good matches. Even the teams that are on the lower of the 16 have really good individuals. So you're going to get to see some guys, get some good matchups.
Yep, early on. And so it's a 16 team bracket. They run the bracket for the first two rounds basically, and then you're separated into those pools of four. However, you end up within that bracket. So you're gonna see, one, two, three, four. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 6 teams with rankings in there. And then you're throwing in Mount Vernon and Portage, who I think you're probably gonna be the top 8 seed. Top 8 seeds off the top of my head. So that's gonna be a pretty solid top 8 there, and I mean, no easy way to get to that final 4 bracket. And you don't want to be in the wrestling room.
No, the brawl behind the wall. Oh, but I think it does a good job. What they do a really good job of it, I would say. Which I know, like some teams were out a couple of years with, just going different places. I think there's other opportunities for some guys that go out of state, but what it does a good job of is like grouping where you need to be. So you're not, and I've talked to Coach Watkins about it before. You don't want to go there and just wrestle outside of your depths the whole day. And I know Westfield kind of does the same thing with the Shamrock Duels, where you can kind of fall into a pool where you can compete and get guys matches. So if you're struggling, if your team is struggling or rebuilding, you could be in the wrestling room, but you can get your guy, 5 solid matches. You might have to wrestle one really good team to start off, but then you can kind of wrestle on your level, and it tiers. It goes like the wrestling room, then it goes upstairs on the track. There's 2 mats, and those are always good matches also. And then you have the main floor where you have 4 mats, and I believe like my Northwest, East, and South isn't always great, but the left side is the top teams, and the right side would be like the 4 through 8.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and that's why Westfield is like that this year. Same thing. You're gonna wrestle your way into a group of your level teams, and you're gonna get some good matches. It's gonna be good for your better kids. It's gonna be good for your lower level kids that are, they're gonna get matches at their own levels. They're gonna get some tough matches. They're gonna get some, at their level and maybe even a little bit below. But that's one of those things that they did a good job separating the teams. And that's something, I was talking about to our coach. We're a little bit, we're rebuilding back to where we should be, I guess. And I was like, well, the worst case scenario, if we get into those lower pools, we're gonna be wrestling teams of our caliber, and our kids are gonna get good matches, and all those teams are there pretty full. And I'm pretty positive everyone at Trikoff, there's probably gonna be very few forfeits. So.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's good for a team like Valpo. You have some guys there that are really good. You can get Stefan Vitello a couple good matches, or Kwiatkowski. You can get Lake Station has a couple really good guys. Joseph Williams and those guys can get matches. Jeffrey Bailey can go get 5 solid matches there. Hopefully get some tough matches and just keep building for a state run. I mean, some of these guys, especially some of the region teams, you might not see these guys, Cathedral or Franklin or Westfield, until you go to state, and now you can kind of get an idea of how they wrestle, how they compete.
Yeah, so definitely looking forward to those seedings there, Coach Watkins. Another great event. I know we're gonna be over at the Tom Cameron Invitational. Should be some good wrestling there. Maryville, Hobart, Harrison, Yankee Valley, Plymouth, Highland, and Hammond Morton. So another solid. You're gonna get the same thing there. You're in an initial pool, and then based on how you do, you'll go to the higher or lower pool. So another day of that. Which is good for teams. Especially if you're going to wrestle some teams at your level and below. So should be another good day of wrestling. We'll get to renew our fun rivalry with the Hobart Brickies. I'm going to bring pictures of people that have beaten Coach Cook. We're gonna start bringing everyone that's beaten Coach Cook on this show. So
that's only like 4 weeks.
Yeah, there's not very many. I looked it up. I was like, yeah, there's about 12 or 13. He had 12 or 13 losses, but I'm sure a few of them were repeats. So we brought one on last week. We're going to keep bringing them on.
He was in some really tough weights.
Yeah.
Well, he's a runner-up as a freshman. So, Kiros from Goshen. So we had to go find him. And then I believe he lost, Jacob Beck maybe at the regional as a sophomore. Had him right up 4 times. So there you go. So
I have to bring him on the show 4 times.
Not many, man. He had a really good career.
Yes,
I'm sure I'm sure he's very humble with his when you talk to him, he's never like, I was under the lights 3 times. So
Yeah. No, we got Nick Iannarelli. That was so we'll get them all. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, looking at, I'm just pulled up his profile. I mean, he did beat my boy Andy Uhl, which I'm not happy about, but we'll let that slide. Surprisingly, he didn't get headlocked.
Said he knows how to stop headlocks.
Yes. So Zeke bump up or number 2 Dylan. I don't know that.
At 38 to wrestle Mendez. I seen Dylan was at 45 this weekend.
Yeah.
So that'd be awesome. I mean, Zeke's already committed. Jesse's already committed. That'd be a pretty exciting matchup.
Yeah.
When's the last time those guys wrestled? Probably 6 years ago.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
I want to say they were wrestling probably in middle school, by 4 or 5 years ago. I think they might have seen each other pretty soon here. I mean, pretty recent. I mean, right before high school, because they were about the same weight, and then I think they kind of separated just enough. So
yeah, I mean, those guys are already committed, ready to go. That'd be exciting. That'd be worth the price of the ticket to get there.
Yes,
if we can get that locked in, Watkins can bump an extra $2.
7 and 6.
6 and 7.
Yeah. So, I know they're in a couple weight classes, the same schoolboy age group. So, let's see what else. Last week we already talked about everything. This week duels. Yeah, Hamilton Southeastern versus Zionsville. They both were hair shies of wrestling each other this past week. They're probably still. I would assume both are kind of on that mix of possibly being able to slide into team state. At the 6A level. One of those things that they can't. Obviously, losing to Carmel, they're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but they're maybe hoping Carmel slips up a little bit and Ed nicks his head when he's shaving or something. So, yeah, Prairie Heights and Homestead, 2 teams that we wrestled, should be a real good match. Coming up, Crown Point wrestles Chesterton. Not going to be as good of a duel as last year, but they should still have some good matches there.
Yeah, Portage got a good win over Chesterton this past week.
Yeah. So
I think that was the one I was like, wow, man, Portage really came to wrestle and did really well against those guys.
Yeah. It looked like you got Maryville versus Portage. I didn't have that one on my original list. That'll be another good one. I haven't asked Dane when we'll get a new set of rankings. Maybe he'll surprise us and throw some rankings out tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah,
you gotta edit the paper, man.
Yeah, he's the head sports editor and everything at the paper, and teaching and doing rankings and everything. So
and he was at a wrestling tournament. kids wrestling.
Yes. Find time to do that. Yeah, Avon Brownsburg. That should be a good match. That's a fun little rivalry, and that's on what, Wednesday. I believe that's the 9th.
Yeah, I wonder
Thursday.
if Miller will be back for that one, and you have Cesar Miller,
Yeah, that'd be a good one. And then you have
Riley, and Bo, or
yeah,
Bo at 7.
yeah. Columbus East, Franklin. That should be another good one. That's good. I mean, there'll be some good matches there. We get
Rocket right here.
Man, we're just gonna release them right now. See that's how we work here. Watkins burned the midnight oil. Says screw it. I'm just gonna release them now. So you got Crown Point, 1 seed, and then
Cathedral 2 seed.
Yep. Cathedral's 2 seed. Franklin's 3rd seed. Portage 4th seed. 5th is Mount Vernon, and then 6th Mishawaka. 7th is Valpo or New Prairie, and 8th is Westfield. Oof.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, there's gonna be some good matches there.
Oh yeah, because then you go 1-8, right? You can go Westfield and
Crown Point.
Crown Point second round. That, I mean, if it holds up the ranking, that'd be really exciting.
Yeah, and you got Mount Vernon and Portage. That should be a good match. There's some good big guys, some good big guy matches there.
Oh yeah, I mean, like when you get those like 5, 6, 7, 8s, those are good matches to go the next round. Those are always really tight duels.
Yeah, Franklin, Mishawaka will be a good one. And then New Prairie, and you got New Prairie River Forest. That might be I mean, that's going to be an interesting matchup. I know New Prairie didn't have all their guys this weekend, so, and I know at least one of their guys isn't going to be wrestling for a few more weeks.
Yeah. Well, you want to have Christian for a while, and I don't know, like weight management wise and how it works, but like, I mean, I don't know when Hunter would be down either. But you're gonna have some good heavyweights in that gym. That's a big boy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and I know Mount Vernon has that Riley Anderson back, and that Devin Kendricks is their 220. That's a pretty tough freshman. So
that'd be a good duel with them and Portage.
Mm-hmm.
Portage for that. Yeah, Corey Hill and Trey White and Devin Kendricks and Riley Anderson. Those would be 2 real good at the end.
Yeah. Yep. So that should be some good matches there. So definitely looking forward to seeing the results of that. Yeah. Platinum. Yeah.
Tough week.
Yeah, he had a tough week of just wrestling hammers all week. Lost in overtime to Layton, and then won in overtime against the White Link kid, and then lost to Hamilton Southeastern. So he's
down budget.
Yeah, he got a baptism by fire this week. He got 3 good ranked matches, which heavyweight sometimes it's hard to get. So that's good for him, and he's gonna get some, possibly wrestle Crown Point this week. So
yeah, that'll be Jack Reese. Jack Reese, that's a big boy, man. Jack's a big kid.
Mm-hmm. So going back, Columbus East and Franklin, and I forgot to mention, I have this nice little feature on there. I don't know if you saw it. If you click on the event, it has like all the ranked wrestlers, so you can kind of see a little bit of a, who's gonna possibly match up for each team. So you got Jacob Johnson, another good heavyweight match. Columbus East versus Franklin. Johnson versus Ashton Hartwell. Tommy Morrow versus Nolan Skaggs. That'll be a good one. Cade Law's going to be back down to 60. Just a couple other, some other possibly good matches. You got Noah Likens at Columbus East. I'm not sure who Franklin's going to throw out there, but they have some pretty good guys. So, pretty good little feature I added last week. So
nice. That's pretty cool.
If you click on the, click on, especially for duels, it's pretty easy. You got, hey, there's Mishawaka versus Northwood, and I know Northwood has a couple good guys. You might have Keegan Maybe, and Kane Lone. That should be a good match. Isaac Benjamin, Jalen Thomas at 220. So you can click on those and see some of the, and I even have like all the guys that basically have a profile, and hopefully their weights are at least semi-correct, because we don't update weights as much as we want. So should be some good matches there. Yeah, as I said, Mishawaka and Northwood should have a couple good matches. Wawasee Garrett was a late pickup. I know Garrett had some scheduling issues. That was a good match last year. They're going to have a Braden Baker, Hunter Miller, Gavin Malone, Jaden Gilbert matches. So there should be some good matches in there for both teams, and I know that's gonna be huge for team state seeding. So that should be a good one. That's on Saturday morning, and then you got also during the week you got the Rochester Quad. Peru and Rochester will wrestle. Should be a good match. I know Peru's number 10 and 2A, and Rochester's number 6 and 1A. ACAC championship duels. Jay County.
I didn't know Rochester was that small. Wow.
Yeah. I think they were a little bit bigger, and I think they've kind of started to trickle down. I didn't realize. I think they've been to like the state at 2A. I think they're right on that bubble. I think they're one of the bigger 1A schools, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they have some really tough kids. Like I know, like Lane Horn and those guys are gonna be pretty good coming through there.
Yeah, they've had some pretty good youth teams, and I think they're just starting to get tap into those guys. So
yeah, they have some good like bigger guys too, right?
Yeah,
Fishback and Beck.
Yeah, so they have some good young guys there. They're going to be a team to watch out of Fort Wayne area. ACAC duels, you have Jay County, South Adams, Adams Central. I know Bluffton has a good team. Should be a good, they're going to all wrestle everybody. Modern Day, what does that say? Modern Day. I changed that thing. The Castle duels at Modern Day. I'm an idiot. Castle duels, you got Avon, Bloomington South, Castle, Modern Day, and Jeffersonville. That's going to be a good day of wrestling. Going to possibly see 1 versus 2 at 195.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Bring that up so I can kind of be better about, Isaiah Schaefer, Luke Rio, Leighton Ramsey, Nate Rio, who's not in high school yet. You got Evan Sang. I got KT Nelson's going to be up a weight. We got Seth Syra, Reed Egley. That should be a good one. Let's see.
The Modern Day team's stacked. It'll be interesting to see if they're all at their same weights also. I mean, you're talking about a team top to bottom that has you guys that are potential state qualifiers and medalists at every weight.
Yeah, you got Delaney Ruhlman, who knocked off Borman there last year versus Hayhurst or Hunter May. Someone said May was down to 52. You got Landon Bowe mixing in there. Brody Bauman and Tough Fender. That's a good name.
Best name. Tough Fender.
You got obviously 1 versus 2, possibly Solers and Purdy, Critchfield, and obviously you can't wrestle Boots. But yeah, some good matches there. Should be really good duels. So that's going to be one to watch there. So we got Tom Cameron, we already talked about. We got the Eagle, or we got the Falcon duels. And this makes my life so much easier. Why didn't I do this before?
I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I would have did it, man, but I don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Well, I have to thank Mike Morgan, because he was like, "Oh, this Ohio State, they get previews of everybody," and I'm like, "No, they don't." It's like, no. And then I went and saw. I'm like, "Oh, I can do that," and so I did. And it all automatically populates every match. So, the Falcon duel is gonna be tough. Carmel has about 16 106 pounders. Should be some good matches there. Toby Bellerman, Liam Kruger. Columbus East wants to lead the state in most significant matches, and they're gonna probably do that.
I think they did that last year too, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Did they just? It was just like every week. It's just like adding like the whole lineup against with 2 or 3 matches.
Oh, yeah.
Keaton Morton, Noah Likens, Michael Major, Ethan Halavai. That should be a good match. Luke Farling, AJ Gunn, Matt Kuntz.
AJ Gunn's out, right? Like he's in Colorado, I think. I think I know I talked to Ed early on. He said all of his guys weigh like 132. I think he said he has like everybody in his room was like 138 at one point.
Nice.
So he said like basically they had to figure out how they could get like from like 13 through like 52 all the way to like 138. Well, you got depth.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we've had that problem before where we have all these guys are 126 or 32s, and it's like you got 5 guys. Someone's gonna have to cut to 20. Someone's gonna have to go up to 38, and we're gonna have to figure out, yeah. And then you got 45. You got Matt Kuntz, Isaiah Holden, Eli Pollitt, and then let's see, Cade Law and Clay Guerin from Greenfield Central. Guerin's gonna probably sneak in the rankings. I'm pretty positive.
Yeah, big win over Tyler Jones.
Yep. And then
Delta and Jay County tomorrow should be fun. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that should be a pretty good match. You got Braden Fleener. I think he's sneaking in the rankings. I know Howie has some rankings coming out. I'll have those out in the morning. Ashton Hartwell, Perry Meridian, Aaron Butts. Perry Meridian always has good big guys, so they're well coached. That's just going to be a meat grinder of a day. The all Quinn duels, as Coach Tante would call them. Were you on that one when he was like calling them Quinn duels? And we're just like, what?
No, I think it was you, him, and Ed.
Oh yeah.
It was like I think it was like a team state like reveal show.
Yeah. And Ed kept looking at him like, "What's a Quinn duel? Like, where you have 4 men?" Like, I've never heard that before. But yeah, that's gonna be a great day of wrestling. Obviously, Columbus East isn't afraid to wrestle anybody. If you're new to the world, Columbus East will wrestle everyone and anyone, anytime, anywhere. They're the army of Indiana wrestling.
Man, Army is Indiana wrestling, right?
Yes.
They got a ton of Indiana guys.
They're Fort Wayne Summer State representing.
I know. You guys are deep out there.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty I don't know I know you talked about it last week, but when they picked up a random duel with Iowa.
Yeah, how about Iowa and Iowa State getting rowdy yesterday, huh?
Oh yes. That was pretty fun to watch. That's a heck of a duel, man. That's on my bucket list of matches to go to, as like events that I want to go to an Iowa State duel, and I might have to make it up next year. I'm kind of trying to figure it out.
How about like the amount of like stalling out the guy in the last match?
Yeah, wow. that ref had a date or something. He decided, hey, I'm out of here. There's quite a bit there was quite a bit of controversy on the reffing. I'm just glad that's not our friend Eric reffing there and getting ripped on by officials.
He might have got him out there a little quicker. Yeah. Now Eric's a bottom man stalling guy. Yes. That was a neutral stalling guy. Come on. Yeah. He hit him with a double stall, man. Somewhere I know the general was smiling.
The 2 double stalls. He hit Austin DeSanto for 2 double stalls. Yeah. So he must have had some like random money on like there will be 2 double stalls and Austin DeSanto. He probably put his like life savings on that. He probably was like, after that last match, like, I'm gone, man. I put $100 on 2 double stalls in Austin DeSanto's match.
Yeah.
The return on that has to be ginormous.
Nah, man. No way.
Double
that
stalls.
Makes me.
Double stalls.
I only like it. I don't like when the general does it. When he hits a double stall, that makes me happy.
We cannot ban double. There's only one. I guess no. We can ban them except for the general. The general's the only one that could do it.
I don't see him used a lot. I mean, I was pretty surprised when I seen him in that duel, but I've seen the general throw out some double stalls.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever. I can't remember the last time I saw a double stall in a college match. I've seen them in high school. I attribute that to little referees not sure what to do, so they're just gonna. Which the double stall does absolutely nothing. Both guys look.
In college matches, they're trying to set some stuff up with the hand fighting and everything. You generally don't see it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't remember the last time I've seen a double stall in college wrestling. But then there's little fisticuffs at the end. So that was
rush the mat, little clearing the benches.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it's a fun duel. I mean, that's unfortunately that's what kind of brings fans in. I mean, people get excited about that kind of stuff. So
oh yeah.
So
good for Iowa State though. They look like they went out there and battled. They're trying to build it back up. I mean, there's a lot of Iowa guys in that room over there that they're clearing the benches on the coaches, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All their coaches are Iowa guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The Eagle Invite this weekend. We have Center Grove, Chesterton, Edgewood, Evansville Rights, Floyd Central, Franklin Central, Mooresville, and Zionsville. I believe it's a pool. It's an individual tournament, but I believe they do pools. My mistake. I might be mistaken. I know they've kind of changed the format because I can see what the brackets have anything. Don't have anything there. So I don't know if I think they've done pools in the past. I'm not 100% positive on that. But
yeah, that'd be good though. There's some real tough individuals in there.
Yeah, Center Grove's going to get pushed, and that's going to be interesting to see them. I mean, they've wrestled some good teams, but they've just been throttling people.
Torres and
Watson.
Watson, that'd be good.
And you thrown in Brack Hooper. You got 1-5 and 1-3 and 5. McConnell Reinhardt at 52. Chase Wagner. One of those guys is up a little bit weight. Jay Conway, Julian Weems from Center Grove. Cody Quaja, Johnny Weichelt, Noah Klauser, Luke Pinola, Drake Buchanan, Ray Emrine, Vincent McDonald, and Luke Bullock. And Gage DeMarco, number 4. Number 6, Antiav Von Jordan. And then, some just deep weight classes. DeMarco, Reese
They
Courtney.
said Franklin Central wrestled pretty well in Ohio also, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty positive they did. I do not know.
I know Garcia sent me a message and said that like the 38-pounder had a real good match with the number 1 guy in Division 1 for Ohio.
Yeah, I do not have any of their results, but I'm sure we can find them. Let's see. But they did not wrestle anybody from Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Where are they at? There was nothing there. Yeah, they didn't. No results have been reported. So we'll have to talk to Coach Moore about that. So, So that's going to be another good one. And then what else do we have? Jim Nicholson and at Elkhart. They always have some solid teams there. Where's it at? Penn, Elkhart, Jimtown, Rochester, Wheeler will be there. So, let's see. You have Dylan Bennett. You have Bryce Denton, Ethan Holloway, Mateo Vargo, Mikey Calamani, Grant Mallory from Penn. Oh, man, we have 2 Grant Mallories. I spelled his name wrong. Connor Watts.
Yeah, good win.
Grayson.
You beat Aiden Costello at the Harvest.
Yeah. So, Landon Buchanan, Dylan Quimby, Juan Grange, Brady Beck. That should be a good one. Fishback and Kendall. Some good matches there. I believe that is a pool. They pool of kids, and then they get 5 matches. So they'll get pooled, and then they'll wrestle like a semis, I believe. There. And then let's see what else do we have. And then
good for Wheeler to go there. I always like to see Wheeler at that event because they would get some good matchups.
Yeah. And then where's I at? Oh, and then last but not least, Brownsburg is going to be at the Grappler Gold in Davison, Michigan. So that should be a good. I know that's always a pretty solid event. I don't know who's all there. I know. Let's see if they have anything there yet. They're using the NFHS weight classes, and
2 weeks in a row for Brownsburg, right?
Yeah, well, they'll be using our weight classes. So, let's see. They have Brownsburg's going to be there this year. They will have Davison, Lowell, Dundee, Alma, Michigan, Holt, Middleville, Kingsley. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty solid tournament. I believe it's individual. Pretty positive it's individual tournament. So um, yeah, that should be a good. It's always a good event, and I know Brownsburg will probably see a lot of the Davison kids at Crown Point too. Um, so it should be pretty good there. Those are the big events for this week. Any what's your plans for the week?
It's always I'll probably try to go catch the championships over at the Trikoff. Like that'll be a good maybe the semis even. Like that whole round robin's always really good with those teams. I think those are always really good matches, and the bumping around. A lot of times those guys really go out there to win. So, obviously we're going off of rankings and we're like, oh, we might see this, but there's a lot of times where they're going to bump around and try to maximize their points, which is always really exciting.
Yeah, no, that's always that's the the fun part of duels is that you're able to. I mean, you're able to possibly get those kind of matches early on, and especially where else if you go to Crown Point and Cathedral or at the at Al Smith, and there's no chance that Zeke and Jesse wrestle, but now there's a chance they wrestled. It's coming down the last match. Maybe they bump them. And try to get trade some points or do what they need to do. So,
well, I mean that's what we saw last year with Sergio and Zeke. Mm-hmm. At Team State was like, hey, let's just get them a good match, and that was awesome. Yeah. I thought that was cool. I know we didn't talk about that, but I saw Mount Carmel was out at the Dan Gable Donnybrook.
Yep. Yeah, they were, and
which is a cool name. Yes. A lot of Indiana guys. Sergio won.
Yep.
I saw.
There was a clip they kind of mic'd up Sertsis, so I'm like, I can only imagine like if you're mic'd up, you're gonna probably say it's a little bit different, be a little bit nicer, and so he was coaching Namdone too.
In that, yeah, I seen Namdone was there. Damian, was it Resendez? Mm-hmm. I think he placed third. Seth Mendoza won it.
Yeah, they have a pretty good team, and we'll be seeing them against Crown Point in January, so that'll be fun. So
that'll be really exciting.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to making my trip over to the region. So and broadcasting that. Yeah, I'll be close, but not quite close enough. I know the Lebanon girls invite. I know we've had like a girls invitational every weekend, which is pretty cool. That's starting to. And they're starting to have a ton of girls at each of those events, so that's good to show for that the sport's growing and doing pretty well. So those keep popping up on my on the schedule, which is good. Any other? Looks like East Central wrestle Ryle, Kentucky. They're at the Raider Rumble. East Central has some good kids. That should be interesting to see how they do compared to the other teams that wrestled Ryle this week.
Oh yeah, I think that's huge. East Central went out to Ohio too, and they did a really good job. They look like they competed really well. I think they were undefeated also, correct? In Harrison,
possibly. Yeah, I'm not. I did not have. Oh yeah, yep. They went undefeated, and they pretty much dominated. So good for Indiana, inserting their dominance on Ohio teams.
Not a good week for Ohio, guys.
Nope, not at all. So yeah, I'll have to find out who's all at the Raider Rumble for. I don't even know if that's an individual tournament. I think that's listed as a individual tournament, so we'll have to see how that is. But luckily, we have all this. There it is. Teams. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a few teams there. Some Kentucky, Ohio. So Elder, Ohio is pretty solid. Should be some Moeller, Ohio there. Moore, Kentucky. I believe Moore is pretty
Moeller,
solid.
the home of Tom Waddle.
Yes.
And Ken Griffey Jr.
Griffey Jr.
And I think like Barry Larkin.
Nice.
I think just Barry Larkin, not Ken Griffey Jr., just Barry Larkin.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so that should
Tom
be
Waddle for sure though.
Tom Waddle. Let's see, where did Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, there's this Google thing.
I don't think it was. I was thinking Barry Larkin.
Let's see what's this. Yeah, you're right. Archbishop Moeller.
Not bad.
Man.
Oh, and John Boehner was from there. Pretty good baseball school. Not bad.
Let's see, famous Moeller High School. Yep, Barry Larkin, Buddy Bell, Mike Bell.
Yeah, they're athletic Hall of Fame. Not bad.
He just picks up a few guys from the Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Larkin, Buddy Bell, Dave Bell, Adam Izuda, Andrew Blackburn. Man, that's pretty. That's just baseball.
Oh yeah, look at their football is good. Doug Williams, Super Bowl quarterback.
Bob,
No, it's offensive tackle. Wrong one.
Rob,
Steve Sylvester. A lot of guys in the league. Not bad.
Nice. Yeah, not a bad school to attend. I think they've had some pretty good wrestlers. I know I wrestled with a guy from there in college. So, so.
And Jack Norris, the president of the Vegan Outreach, is also from there.
The vegan outreach?
That's what it says.
Oh, geez. It's not, who does not belong on this list of famous alumni?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. See, if you watched Yellowstone, I'd be able to catch you. You'd be able to make some vegan jokes.
I started watching the first episode, but had to turn it off.
A little too intense for you?
No, I forgot that I had something going on. I had to go do something.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty intense. So you got to get caught up, and then we can talk about it every week.
We'll do a breakdown right at the end.
Yeah. So it's getting a little late, so we got a little bit late start, but we're gonna get off of here. Another big week of wrestling. Kind of looking forward to more information. We have, as always, we have articles coming out this week. I think we'll have our girls article come out on Thursday. We had our guy Connor Barkett, good article on him today. You didn't check that out. I don't know who the article on Wednesday is. I just, like I said last week, I just gave them a list of guys and gave them contact information, and they let them do their thing, and they send me an article and I post it. So, and then we'll have a girls article, and then I'm sure Mike's I know he's working on the rankings. You gonna try to get one out like Wednesday-ish or tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna try Wednesday.
Okay.
Get it going. Just trying to see sometimes the results trickle in a little bit slower, so you want to get those in, and then because it like clockwork, man. If I post them and like someone puts a late ranking in, or not late ranking but a late result in, they're like, but I just put this in, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, man. I'll update them on Wednesday.
Yeah, so that should be. I mean, I know we'll have some Newcastle rankings. How we got those to me, we'll have those out in the morning. I know the other guys have been working on them. Dustin obviously is got a couple of rankings out already, which is very, very surprising. Maybe it's because I made him his little cartoony character.
Yeah, stickers. They came out good, man.
Yeah, Mike got some stickers. I got, we have Joe and Mike stickers. Very small quantity made, so you have to really be nice to us to get one. I sent a bunch to Mike, and I know people are just clamoring over pictures of me. I don't, So if you order something in the store, maybe you'll get one. If you're nice, I know there's someone up in East Noble. It's usually on here, but it's probably past his bedtime. That got a couple stickers, so I was waiting for the thanks and seeing where they ended up this time. Around some bathroom stall or something at East Noble.
Oh man, I hope not.
So I don't know. We might have to order some more just because I didn't realize they'd be that popular.
I get one of my daughter to put on her water bottle. So
oh, your daughter lets you steal it. I tried doing that to my daughter, and she wouldn't let me do it.
She did. She's been rocking a lot of IndianaMat sweats. So
nice. Yeah, you got some more stickers. I threw some more stickers in there too, so you can throw on those on there, so you can the shoes ones and stuff like that. So, um, yep, we got lots of cool stickers. Good promotion. So, um, yeah. So if you guys want a Joe or Mike sticker, I mean, I don't. Hopefully, you put it in a good place. Um, and you can maybe we'll order some more soon. There's a good sticker mule sale. So, any other parting comments before we head off here?
No, just like again, like when we started off, I just want to thank everybody for the messages and people that took time out to reach out to me on Thanksgiving or anytime during this whole week, and just let them know that I appreciated that they were thinking about me and my family. It meant a lot. It really did. We have such a great community. Like in Northwest Indiana, there, in the wrestling community, and obviously we love doing this, but like I really appreciate it. It meant so much.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously thank you guys for everyone that helped out, whether it's just saying I'm thinking about you and stuff, and a lot
Yeah,
of things crazy going on in this week, and not only we have family things and stuff like that, and and then you had that, and taking time out to send a message when you're with your family or something, that's very
yeah,
kind of you know makes you appreciate the people that are out there. I mean, I know wrestling is a real good family, small family, and we all look out for each other. So one of those things that
yeah,
we're gonna hopefully keep doing. So
yeah. It was great. Like the outreach was amazing.
yeah, and
Um, like I said, I really appreciate it. I could never, like, obviously, like, saying thank you isn't even enough of what everyone, reached out or donated or whatever. I really appreciate it.
yeah, so but we're all glad you guys are back home and on the road to recovery, and it's definitely scary for a few days. It's like I personally me, I just want those update. I was like, man, I don't want to bother him because I'm sure he's getting lots of stuff going on. It's like like what happened, and so I just was we're thinking
Yeah,
about you. If you guys need anything, we're actually not too far away, and I
yeah.
was like, I was like, wonder. I had to look up. I was like, man, is the Michigan Ohio State game that in Michigan? Is like, oh crap, I don't want to go near that place
So did I.
on Saturday or
Uh,
this weekend.
and just and like I said, man, it was just a lot of people reached out, and especially like right on that, like in that Fort Wayne area. It's like if you need anything, we're not that far. And Mike Villanueva, who we know through wrestling, wrestled at Maryville, and he reached out. His sister worked at the hospital. On the other side was like, hey, if you need anything, I'm in town visiting my parents, and I just thought that was crazy. Like, like obviously it's a busy time, and just like I said, like the outreach was amazing, and that people were willing to drop whatever they're doing to like help out. And like I said, I could never say thank you enough.
Yep. So with that, we're gonna get out of here. We will be back next Monday and have a lot more to talk about, a lot of wrestling to talk about, and make sure you guys are reporting your results. Put those results in. Send Mike and all the other guys there any kind of information, weight changes. I know that's one of the big things that we're getting. Guys are finally getting down to weights, and oh yeah, I'm going to 113, and then all of a sudden you're seeing them at 126. Like you ain't making no 113.
Yeah, I think that's like I know we've talked about that before. Um, like, hey, I understand everyone wants to like put their thumb on what weight they want to go when it's like October, but right now you have a better idea that that's probably
Yes.
not happening, right?
Yep, and there's some shifting. I know I was going through the spreadsheet, and oh, this guy's at this weight, and even yesterday I didn't realize like Roman wrestled 60 most of the day last Saturday, but then he wrestled 52 at least one of the matches. So I was like, oh, I thought I didn't see the six. I saw the 60 matches. I didn't see the 52, but Mike obviously, I know better than to question him, and I'm like, oh, I saw you the
No,
60.
because I did the same thing. I had to go find it.
Yeah, so we keep each other in check with that. So anyway,
Well, it's always good. That's how we get it right.
yep, yes, definitely. We keep each other in check, and well, I'll see one result with a guy at one weight, and then I'm like, oh, and then he'll see, sometimes they're like, oh yeah, his coach said he's just wrestling up half the time. So yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean, the one thing I was looking at, I was looking for him against obviously Center Grove, Mr. Harvey. Obviously, I was like, oh, I wonder if we might have got a Watson versus Roman match. And then I saw he's at 60, and I saw like one other match. I'm like, oh, he must be at 60 this year. And then, oh wait, so
Well, that Center Grove line was pretty stacked. You could probably, you could probably wrestle any of those guys in that lineup and get a good match.
yeah, definitely. That's that's the the good and the bad. You want to see someone like Watson will chase matches if he could, but who are you gonna bump out of the lineup? As a coach, you can't really play that game too much. Like, well, we're gonna bump this guy around and bump a state ranked guy up or out of the lineup. They have to go.
Oh yeah.
So yes, wrestle your weight class and hope that. They're gonna wrestle a good enough schedule. They don't have to worry too much. But at the same time, it's always fun to see those guys chasing matches. So
well, it's like the same thing. Like I think we've said about like Crown Point, where you have like one of the best weapons in the state with Mendez, but you have Tatini, and then you have all those guys. Sam Going. You have Cody Goodwin. So you have all these guys stacked in a line. It's like, okay, like who are you gonna bump out?
Yeah. At some point, okay, we'll bump him up. We'll insert, whoever. Who do we have who's his backup that's good enough to, better than, Tatini, if we bump Tatini out or bump Going out, or if we bump Cruz out, or if you bump Goodwin out, or you bump, or if you're going to get to almost to the Clark brothers at 95 and 220, and you have someone as good as those guys.
Fargo,
at least one of them is a Fargo All-American.
Yeah, and they're babies. Like they're still getting better. Those guys are babies.
Yeah. So do you have someone? On Aussie, those are probably their weaker areas up there, but you have someone as good as them, and then that's equal to everyone else bumping up a weight. Half your lineup. So yeah, unfortunately, can't. As a coach, you don't want to do that because that ruffles lots of feathers, and you just got to wrestle, and they'll see the good competition. So
yeah.
So just over a nice little cold. So we'll be back next Monday. Lots of wrestling, so report your results, and we'll see you guys later.